Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/ask Reddit by Planet Reddit. What is something everyone can agree is a D move? Proposing to your boy girlfriend while at a wedding. How are there still people who think this okay? I saw a YouTube video of a wedding where the bride obviously told everyone to let one of her bridesmaids catch the bouquet. As soon as she threw the bouquet, everyone but the unsuspecting bridesmaid jumped out of the way. Immediately after the unsuspecting bridesmaid caught it, her boyfriend came up to her, got down on one knee, and proposed. The bride was smiling like crazy and obviously so happy for them, bouncing up and down with excitement and clapping cheering. I think that is the only instance where it is okay. Edit. Here is another good example. YouTube link. If the bride's on board, then go for it. Just as long as you don't slither in to steal the thunder of the newlywed couple, which is usually what happens. Leaving a microscopic quantity of food in a container just so you are not the person that has to clean it. Leaving just a bit of juice, milk, whatever in the jug so you don't have to get more. I didn't drink it all. No, but I'm eating a big piece of chocolate cake. Motherfucker, I need a tall glass of milk, and you left a thimble at the bottom. Guy at work was notorious for that. Use up almost all of my co-worker's fancy creamer. Then, if she was lucky, he'd bring in a can of the store brand powder creamer a week later. You get fired for using other people's stuff at my job. They even put cameras in the break room to catch perpetrators in the act. We had several lunch thieves and someone stole the boss's lunch one day. Now it is a zero tolerance offense. The boss ate my sandwich, so I ate him. Taking someone else's lunch from the break room fridge. Oh, I got a story for you. Someone stole my lunch twice. So on the third day I brought him a pizza. It looked like a pepperoni pizza. It smelled like a pepperoni pizza. But it was not exactly pepperoni. It was pepperoni and cayenne, with as much cayenne as there was pepperoni. If you hear someone screaming music from the break room, we'll know who has been stealing my lunch. Nobody's lunch was stolen after that. Someone stole my breast milk from the staff fridge. D. Better that than stealing it straight from the source. Randomly switching two newborn babies at a hospital, so that they're raised by the wrong parents. And then when they're in 7th grade doing Punnett squares and figure it out. This is actually how I found out that my stepdad wasn't my dad. I was more upset with the fact that my teacher took points off because my genetics didn't match mathematically to my mom and stepdad's outcomes genetics. I explained to my mom that I got points taken off for incorrect math, but I couldn't find my mistake. She went to their office and handed me my birth certificate, which I had never been allowed to look at before. Big surprise when the name on the father's line didn't match to the man I knew of as my dad at the time. I was failed on a family tree project in the 3rd grade because I've never met my father and have no info on his side of the family. My teacher had all of this information and stated that it wasn't fair that I only had to do half the work as the other students. I also wasn't allowed to take part in several Father's Day arts and craft field trips at that school, even though, outside of school, I always made things for my grandpa, who completely filled the role of my father and who I made my best man at my wedding. I was never really upset by it back then, but I have memories of being made to sit there doing nothing while the other kids made things for their dads. That school fucking sucked. Leaving refrigerated items in random aisles at the grocery store because you're too fucking lazy to put them back. I was at Target the other day and found an abandoned carton of ice cream on a stack of jeans. It was all melty and clearly ruined most of the jeans underneath it. People are yes, comma. And those are the same people who complain about shit being too expensive. Uctons. All of them. Eating your roommate's restaurant leftovers. Eating out your roommate's girlfriend. Eating out your roommate's girlfriend's restaurant leftovers. Eating your roommate's girlfriend. Cutting in a line. I was standing in line at the deli counter. Next up, when a very old looking lady just walks up to the counter and slithers her way in front of me. I figured I'll just let her have this, since she'll probably die soon anyway. But the absolute legend behind the deli counter noticed this, looks right over the lady's shoulder and says, "Sir, what can I get you?" Don't uck with the flow of the deli counter. We pay attention, and uck those old ladies thinking they're slick. Take a number. BCH. You'll get your THINLYS, Lee said Braunschweiger, when it's actually your turn. 2. I need to remember that move. Merging onto the freeway at 40 miles an hour 8 feet in front of the car in the right lane. Related. When one is driving in the right lane and has adequate room in the left lane to accommodate incoming mergers from the right but does not make use of said adequate space. When car in right lane leaves space for merging traffic but car that needs to merge waits for the lane to end instead of taking advantage, but by then traffic closes the gap and they've got to force their way in. Straight to the bottom of hell. All the way down. To the boiler room of hell. Fighting for custody of a dog just to give it away when you win. I can be chess. My boyfriend's dad got a divorce with his third wife and she fought for their cat. She won. Put the cat down a week later. That is pure evil. There really should be less against these kind of petty stuff. Like if you fight for custody, you must keep it for X amount of time. Could you imagine if it was kids? One parent wins, then put them up for adoption. Not returning shopping carts. I just read about the shopping cart theory the other day and thought it was really interesting. It states that since everyone knows that returning a cart is the right thing to do even though there aren't any consequences for not doing so, we can determine what kind of person you are based on if you return them or not. The other day my partner and I watched a man get out of his car and put trash into a shopping cart that had not been returned at the grocery store, and that was just an extra level of jerk that I didn't previously know existed. We had someone leave a box of trash in front of my store's windows while I was teaching a class right there. 5 of us saw it happen and then come into shop. I told my co-worker what he did and co-worker went out on a smoke break, picked up the box and tossed it in the back of the guy's truck. A didn't notice and left with it there. It was fantastic. You come to intersection and see me like 200 feet away coming at you 30-40 miles an hour with no one at all behind me, and you decide that you just can't wait 3 seconds, so you just go ahead and pull out there in front of me and take your time getting up to speed. I mean, why? You're D. Or the people who merge into traffic and immediately swerve all the way to the passing lane so they can go under the speed limit. These people inevitably make me rage. I'm going a good speed, no one behind me, and they pull out in front of me to go 10 under at best. Makes me wish I had a cannon fixed to the hood of my car. Taking up 2 parking spaces. Or leaving the behind end of your needlessly oversized pickup out so other people have to drive around you. If you own a big truck, you work for a living and you can walk, park that ship out in the farthest reaches. I love your logic. It seems many truck owners don't actually work though. They just have small DS. Not working on a group project. Thank you for reminding of 96% of all group projects I ever did. While at a friend's house and they poop and clog the toilet and leave it. That's when you gotta throw it out the window into their garden. Just blame it on the neighbor's cat or something. Deus ex machina. Had that happen at a party at my new house once. I was stupid enough to not have a plunger. Luckily the pooper told me right away, so I ran to my neighbor and the problem was solved since he had a plunger. It actually warms my heart to think about how everybody cooperated on what otherwise could have been a shitty situation. Shooting someone in the eye with an airsoft gun. This is why face masks are required at most places, and if you ain't wearing one you're either dumb or dumb. Full masks under 18 and eye protection always. Sleeping with your ex and in the morning inviting her to your wedding. You wanna talk about something, buddy? It's something D. Grayson did to Barbara Gordon when he was getting married to Starfire. Edit. Here it is if anyone wants to read it. Scroll down. Oh. And Babs was paralyzed at this point too. What a D move. Getting cut off in traffic is a minor annoyance, but if they don't give a wave afterwards, total D move in my book. Not using your indicators, blinkers, and hence nearly running over a pedestrian or cyclist. Also seeing an animal in the middle of the road and proceeding to go straight over it without even trying to honk it out the way. Exactly, my driving instructor would never let me use the horn or flash the lights or do anything to move birds or other animals off the road. Drove me mad. Not pulling over to the shoulder when an ambulance is coming. I knew a guy that wouldn't pull over for sirens on principle because he was convinced that the drivers of said vehicles were just trying to skip traffic in their personal capacity. Needless to say, I don't spend time with him anymore. Stopping in the middle of a narrow street to have a long chat with your friends. A. You both have a cell phone. Or park somewhere and catch up elsewhere. When she touches your D and it twitches. Totally a D move. Or when you touch her D and it twitches. Or when you touch her D and yours twitches. Or when your D touches her and you twitch. When you say something, idea, and someone else says the same thing 5 minutes later like it's their own. When you say something, idea, and someone else says the same thing 40 minutes later like it's their own. Best answer of the thread. Why can't you be more like this guy you/xmega? Cheating on your significant other. Burning popcorn in the office microwave. Also cooking fish in the office micro. One great thing about quarantine, I don't have to smell the nasty microwaved oysters that one Mr. Butthead McGee thinks makes a great work lunch. Black. When you use the last thing of toilet paper in the bathroom and don't replace it. 1/5-star rating. This TV show is just not good. The actor has been really good in things before but this new character does not fit him/her. The show tries to do too much in one episode and the characters never get enough screen time to develop. I've only watched the first 2 episodes so far but I would not recommend it. Pros. Product was as advertised. Did everything I wanted, and more. Patched up my broken relationship with my mom. Cured cancer. Conveniently fits in my car's cup holder. Cons. UPS delivered it a day later than promised. So at these people. Not UPS though. I'd give fewer stars if possible. But it's not. Which in of itself would warrant more negative stars. They should give me stars. In fact, 1/5 stars. Any reviews on a business that say shit like they told me they don't do X and that's what I needed. My granddaughter loved it 5/5 stars. I didn't like it 1/5 stars. Thanks for the helpful review A. Farting into someone's refrigerator. We all make mistakes in the heat of passion. Jimbo. All we had to do was follow the damn train. CJ. R/suspicious specific. Throwing your trash on the floor. Passing all the cars in the freeway exit lane on the shoulder. Not saying I haven't done it, but I knew I was being a D when I did it. Join our community Discord, link in description. Making fun of someone's laugh. Not replacing the empty toilet paper roll and leaving just one thing in a box at the kitchen. The WTF only eats one hot pocket. They come in 2 for a reason. Took me a minute to realize these weren't related, which they definitely are. Kneeling on a man while he begs to let him breathe and ignoring him to the point where you fucking murdered him. I think that is less D-move and more cold-blooded murder, and the USAG agrees. Yelling at a waiter about something wrong with their food, as if the waiter has any control over that. Giving shitty tips. I thought you meant giving out bad tips as in, don't do this because it's bad when it was obviously bad and you knew not to do it already. Also, happy cake day. Littering. Knocking someone off the track in Rainbow Road. Wiping your behind with someone's pillow. Has this happened to you? Or ignoring your screaming baby kid in public. You made them. Fucking take responsibility for them. Also, why are diaper bags apparently no longer a thing? Going into a nursing home even though you have the coronavirus. Peeing on a toilet seat. One word, littering. Well, a boner. I wonder how many people would agree that ghosting someone without explanation after establishing a romantic connection is a D move. I certainly agree there are cases where it's understandable and prudent to cut contact with someone entirely. But if it's just a matter of a spark not being there, it's really not that hard to say so. Communication is a dying art. Emo. Roses are red, violets are blue. Not throwing the waste, even if dustbin's near you. Pushing and shoving to get where you need to go. Doing anything while named Richard. Killing an unarmed black man. Edit. Sweet. An award. Thank you, amazing Redditor. Writing negative tips at restaurants or being rude to waiters/waitresses. cutting in line, invading someone's personal space especially right now, sneezing or coughing in someone's face, backing out last second, breaking up with someone over the phone, asking people's fetishes then not doing crap. I see someone's into scat. Threatening to delete Twitter because they fact-checked one of a couple of thousand lies. Abandoning your grandfather using his own portal gun. Going from flaccid to erect. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.